Hey guys, if you've ever hung drywall on ceilings, 5/8 drywall, you know how heavy it can be and how much of a pain it is. But you can do it by yourself. What you gotta do, get yourself a couple of blocks, put a screw in them 1 inch or 2 from the top, and make yourself a leg. Okay, it's just a little, with that block on top, it's just a little bit shorter. It might not even fit under the sheetrock. It's going to be real snug, so just measure appropriately, put a block on top of it to protect your sheetrock. And then what we're going to do is put the 2 blocks on the wall, and I usually put them, you can see that fine. I mean, it doesn't matter a ton, but put them about 1 inch to, yeah, put them like 1 inch from the top if you're doing 5/8 sheetrock. But it's okay if they're farther down, just that way it's more snug when you put your sheetrock on. So a full sheet is super heavy. It's pretty tough to do full sheets. Luckily this one is smaller. Nice finish edge. So what you're gonna do is you put those blocks in there, and then again, the smaller sheet's easier, but the big one, you can do the big sheet still. You put it up on your blocks, scooch it where you want it, and then you put your leg under it. And don't put, it doesn't matter as much with the small piece, but with the big piece, don't put your leg at the end, because then your sheetrock's just going to bust in the middle, and don't put your leg in the middle, because then it's just going to bust on the end from the weight. So put it on a full sheet, put it, 2 feet in or so it's supported on the blocks on the end and by the leg. But, that's basically it. Make sure it's going to go where you want it, and then throw some screws in there, which are way yonder. If you haven't used these before, I only just started using them. This is called a dimple bit, and what it does is it only protrudes so far, and so that giant collar around it keeps it from going any deeper, and so it's supposed to set the screw the exact depth you want in sheetrock and not overdrive it. Whereas when you're not using one, unless you're a pro, which I am not, then you have to just slow down as you get towards the end so you don't overdrive your screws. But now I'm just putting in a couple screws to tack it up. For a full sheet, I put in like 10, but for this, I'll just put in 5 or 6 to hold it for now. Where's that? And the dimpler, you gotta set your screws perfectly vertical, otherwise the screws are kind of angled. Doesn't work as well. And make sure, like I did just not do, to mark, well, I'm actually going to take that out. Mark your joists that you're screwing into so that you actually know where to screw into. So let's see if I can. There you go. So I'm just going to pull it out a bit so I can see. Don't knock it off though, it's going to fall on your face. There's one. There's one. Okay, just close. And again, just make sure it's where you want it. Lift it up. Make sure you use your OSHA-approved chairs so you don't get in trouble. But you see how I just kind of went? And still didn't seat all the way though. So if it's a little small, danger, so watch out. But usually it's best to, like if it was the full sheet, work your way from the end and then do a couple in the middle, and like hold your block so it doesn't do that, obviously. But that's it. Then just put in an appropriate amount of screws to tack it. So I'm just doing 4 there, and then make sure it's going to go all the way up to where you want it. Yeah, damage that end a little bit, but it's in the corner. But that's it. Oh, and make sure, so I have a duct right in here. Make sure you mark, so I've got it written on the insulation, but make sure you mark where any penetrations are. So I've got 2 lights in here and a duct that are getting covered right now. And so make sure you mark somewhere, like put your measurements down, how far they are from the walls, so you know where to drill out your holes. But other than that, that's it. Yeah, it's only 8 screws. But that's going to hold that piece just fine for now. I'll do the whole ceiling and then I'll come back and put in all the rest of the screws. And that is how you hang drywall on the ceiling by yourself.